All right, today is June 14, 2022. It's 11 a.m. So I did a review yesterday. I think it was maybe a 3 or 4 minutes partial of the interview of Amber Heard. And I thought it was going to be on Thursday. So I just finished edit the video. I have not even edited the one that I recorded yesterday. And I saw this one. And now I'm curious to see what's going on. So let's go to it.
It's been about more than a week since the verdict. As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in?
How could it? Surreal and difficult. In part, yes. This has been a long time coming.
Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse?
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
What?
Real life.
It's like we didn't see the trial. But anyway, she has no choice. She has no choice but to stand by her words because they have been proven wrong. Luckily, Johnny Depp have his composure. Otherwise, this would have been a huge trap for him. If just one slightest mistake, with the exception of the headbutt by accident because she was lunching on him, can you imagine? Can you imagine the trouble Johnny Depp would have been? Wow. Okay, let's listen.
Life drama of the defamation case between Amber Heard and her ex-husband Johnny Depp captivated millions of people around the world.
Amber Heard just got exposed.
Johnny, you hit me.
This is so cringe.
With clips spreading across social media like wildfire.
I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok, and the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
What?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror.
So if you're saying this, does that mean you were on social media during the trial? So no wonder why regarding the makeup kit, because the day after her lawyer claimed this makeup or this particular thing, bruise kit, that she had in her purse throughout the incident that she used to cover the thing. And I did a small review of that, and I put clips from other professionals who explained the situation of that. Why didn't you stop your lawyer at the time? Because you told her this is the one that you use. When she was saying all the stuff to the juror, why didn't you stop her until you were in the stand where you said, well, obviously this is not it, this and that? Okay, why didn't you stop her? So which mean, if you're saying how could they not, so which mean you were the one who were on social media.
Do you hammer on that as Johnny Depp's attorney during cross-examination? Obviously, Amber Heard now knows that that product wasn't made until 2017. So, will you? She's going to tell us the products she uses, right? Aren't we going to get schooled in a lesson in what products Amber Heard uses to cover bruises, cuts, etc.?
Yes. Questions are all yes. Any lawyer would get up there and say, you sat there during your lawyer's opening statement. She's your representative, right? She's your chosen lawyer. She got up there, and to this jury, these folks, this is how I would conduct the cross. You sat there and you knew at that time that your lawyer was she was talking about this cover-up. She was alleging this was the makeup that you used. And you knew that entire time that she was misrepresenting something to the jury, and you never corrected it. You never said, you know what, she's wrong, or you're wrong, or encouraged her to get up there at some point during the trial, at any point, and say, you know what, it was a mistake. You allowed her to actually say that to mislead this jury, or to potentially mislead this jury. She can say whatever she wants. The jurors are going to remember that.
Because the judge literally tell everybody at the end of each of the trial. I don't know how it is for lawyers or whatever, but whoever's going to be testified, the Johnnies, the jurors and witnesses and all of that should not be on social media. Okay, so if you claiming someone else is doing that, so that means you did. And the perfect example is the bruise kit. Okay, you let your lawyer tell a lie to the jurors. This was the one you had in your purse throughout your incident with Johnny Depp, but you never stopped her to say no, that wasn't the one, until you were on the stand to say, oh, obviously this is not it. And by the way, the day after her lawyer claimed that was the kit she used, this is when the company put out a video, I believe it was on TikTok, to say this was never in production. They never had it in production. And that's why when she's on the stand, she claimed that wasn't the makeup kit she was using. But let's continue with that BS.
It would have been impossible to avoid this.
People online and crowds outside the courthouse made it clear where they stood.
Every single day I pass.
Nobody likes liars. You know. Oh, you mean every single witness, every single one of them? They said they've seen no booze from you, nothing. You telling me everyone is lying except you? And then, wow. And then we have, metadata people, experts to test some of your things that you submit to the court to say they're not original. So you're telling me every single person is lying except you? My God.
Asked for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying burn the witch, death to Amber. After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans.
Well, guess what? Whoever was able to stand online, from what I'm understanding, it's not like the court pick exactly, oh, you are Johnny Depp fan, you go in. Are you Amber Heard fan, you don't go in. No, people stood online to get in. So it's not like there were preferable treatment for people to go in. If I wanted to, I would have slept on that line to go in, but that wasn't my interest. Alright, so don't make it seem like there was a preferable treatment there. And some of those lawyers who stood on line, some of them pay others to be on the line to get their spot. So don't make it seem like it was preferable treatment.
Who were vocal, energized.
Can you put into words how that felt?
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through.
Stop lying. All you have to do is stop lying. If you didn't lie, your own recording says you were lying. If you stop lying, maybe people will not be doing that. People don't like liars. People do not liars or instigators, instigating Johnny to do something so you could accuse him of that. Thank God Johnny had the composure to not act upon his feeling. Instead, he rather leave, go someplace else.
It is easy to run. It is easy to run away from problems. It is easy to take that out and say, well, that's the easiest. That's the best, safest. That's the safest way out. I'm not saying we should get in physical altercations. I never want to be in that. Never. But every time you don't like what I say and you fucking run away, will never work out anything. You can't run away every fight.
Can you please just let me go? That was, I remember hearing him saying that.
Then let's not do this anymore, because I'm really getting frustrated. And I'm really, really, really sick of this argument.
Stop. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop?
Because
May I go?
Please, it causes me so much stress when you leave, when you walk away from me with that. It's like you don't understand how much worse you're making this.
I can't believe this.
Please, you're making it worse for me.
Okay, I'm sorry for you.
Please, I'm only trying to tell you so that you know you're causing me immense stress right now when you walk away like that. There's no reason to be mad.
Well, then say goodbye. I haven't walked away. You're not saying goodbye. You won't let me fucking leave. Let me leave.
Oh my God. Please stop rushing me! Stop pushing me in the corner and then poking me with a stick and then saying, why aren't you saying the words you want me to say? Stop poking me! Stop rushing me! Stop throwing me against the wall and going, what? You don't like that wall? You don't like the fucking wall? Stop pushing me!
Remember, I'm not pushing you. not rushing you. I said, I need space. I don't want this conversation anymore right now. I need space. And I will take my space. Whether you like it or not, I will take it. And you will take your space. But if you keep halting
I'm not doing anything
this
to you.
and continuing
I'm
with
not
the rhetoric,
continuing it. I'm begging you to stop.
I don't. Okay, stop. I'm stopped. Stop. Now I have to go. Okay? So we will speak to each other in a couple of hours. Okay? I hope you have some kind of revelation that makes you feel better. You know? I hope I do too. But we'll just see when I get home. We'll just talk, or we won't talk, or we'll finish this, or we won't finish it. But this is not love. This is not happiness. This is not.
Please stop doing this. Please, it causes me so much fucking stress. I'm gonna die at this age. I'm gonna fucking die. You're causing me so much stress. Please stop. Please, I feel like I have heart attacks almost every day. Please stop. Please stop doing it. Please stop. He's so fucking mean.
Why are you with me?
Bully. Stop. Please stop. I've been begging you not to fight. I just said, can we please have a normal argument? Just even a normal conversation, fucking normal argument. And for the last hour, I've been begging you to please just leave it at that. Let's just go on with our night. I would have been able to come in with you. We would have been able to let it go in a few minutes. It would have been fine. If we allowed ourselves to have fucking normal arguments. Please, you're killing me with this. You're killing me. You're fucking killing me. Fuck.
Sean, could you, please, I want you to just go. I want you to take your medicine or whatever. I'm sorry that I've upset you.
Yeah, I think. Thank you, Sean. I'm ready to go. Thank you so much.
I'm really sorry.
I'm really ready.
And then you start crying. Stop attacking at me. But he tell you to let him go. Wow. I have never seen this. I have never seen something like this in my entire life. Never. This has to be something much greater than that. For this woman to sit in court on national television to still stick to that lie that has been debunked. It has to be much bigger than that, because around the time where the Me Too movement was coming out, there were a lot of people being accused. This has to be much bigger than that. I cannot believe this. In my humble opinion, pure speculation, this has to be much bigger than that. So when the real victims come out and tell those powerful men who have been doing wrong to them, so they could use her example as a way to say, this, she's just like Amber, she didn't do this, she didn't do that. It has to be. I cannot believe this woman. This has to be much bigger than that. Again, this is pure speculation.
I have never felt more removed from my own humanity. I felt less than human.
It's all your own doing. All your own doing. Instigating. It's so freaking painful to listen to some audios. I can't believe this. I feel sorry for those lawyers who have to listen to those audios, but they had to get the sense of the BS that was going on in that audios.
The day of the verdict, were you feeling confident?
I stand by my testimony, and I now place my faith in British justice. That's a great question. I wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven...
Well, your own know why your lawyer brought this expert to bring things that was going on social media, to give the jurors a pretty good picture of what's going on to the people's mind. So I don't know. This was your own lawyer's own fault for bringing the things. What is it? Amber Third. What's going on Twitter? Let's see here. Is she trending? There it is. She is trending. Amber Third is trending. You see, she's trending. Sociopath, narcissist, never wrong. The world is fictitious. Amber Third. You see, Amber Third is trending. Amber Third. All this is your own doing. Okay, let's go back to this.
All the elements of defamation. Answer, yes.
After the 6-week trial, the jury found Heard defamed Depp in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she wrote she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. She never mentioned her ex-husband by name. Depp denied the abuse allegations in court. Heard won just one of 3 claims in her countersuit against her ex-husband.
We should make it clear. The countersuit, it was by association. It was Johnny Depp's former, I don't know if the lawyer still represents Johnny Depp, but it was Johnny Depp former lawyer who put something on I guess on Twitter about Amber Heard, and then Amber Heard decided to use it and sue Johnny for it. Okay, so Johnny Depp was like, I don't even know it was there or something like that. Whatever, it was all in court. So we need to make this clear.
That verdict came less than 2 years after a judge ruled against Depp in a similar case in the UK, in which he sued a British newspaper that called him a wife beater.
There was another trial, dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in.
But she was not the subject there. It was between Johnny Depp and the newspaper. And then you give testimony to the newspaper and to the judge in the UK to back up the newspaper's claim.
I traveled here to the UK to testify as a witness, to assist the court, I traveled here to the UK to testify as a witness, to assist the court. After obtaining a restraining order in 2016 and finalizing my divorce, I just wanted to move on with my life. Although I did not bring up this lawsuit, I am aware of the precious resources being consumed by his litigation.
Okay, and then there were a lot of evidence. Some of the evidence that Johnny Depp was able to submit here in the US were not permitted over there. Alright, so let's make that clear.
In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence kept out.
And then this is where they find you lying. What is it? You alert TMZ and that slip off. Alright, Camille Vasquez got you on that one.
I remember sending the text message that is in front of me right now to Jerry, and I remember sending this because I wanted to tell Johnny or have him told by Jerry or someone who knew him or was close to him. Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file, or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Ms. Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
some evidence is admissible in a UK court.
And then some of the thing also that I've heard on social media is that judge, I'll look it up. I think there's some association between that judge with the some of the people with the newspapers and some sort of a connection. So that's that.
Admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real
Distracting?
issues.
For some people.
Distracting? Are you kidding me? Distracting the jurors? From what I've heard, luckily, oh my God, thank you for the law nerds on social media who were in the courtroom, who was after each break or each day of the trial, they come and tell when the jurors were really into tune with, they could sort of read some of the jurors. All right, especially when Vasquez was cross-examining Amber. All right, some of the lawyers that were in the court was saying, you know, each time Vasquez asked a question, you see the juror's head keep on turning back and forth. So which means they were engaging. But when she's lying, everybody, you know, they tune off. All right, so that's something I remember from one of those law nerds like Emily D. Baker, who bring other law nerds, you know, lawyers who were in the courtroom, who have YouTube channels and all of that. Let's listen.
They just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their...
No. As a matter of fact, Main Street media, I hate the way they cover it. But when you look at, I'm telling you, thank God it was televised, because if the mainstream media only had access to this thing, they would not be reporting the truth. At the beginning of the trial, I started watching the trial through one of the mainstream media. I don't remember which one it was. And then I literally was listening to what was happening in the court. And then the commentator saying something completely 360. I was like, what the F? What did I just hear? It's completely different from what the person is saying. So from that point on, I tune off. Okay, I turn into Emily D. Baker, and after, if sometime I don't feel like listening to her, I will go to another YouTuber that you know, I think Popcorn something. You know, I will listen to them or something like that. And some other professionals, lawyers, literally lawyers who have YouTube channels, who do reviews of those trials. I will listen to that. But my goodness, you had the entire system at your fingertip who were backing you up. This is why I cannot understand this. This has to be much bigger than this. This trial has to be much bigger than this, because during those time of the Me Too movement was coming out, there were too many high profile men who were being accused. One of them is already in jail. What's that guy? Weinstein already been in jail and all of that. So there are so many others. This has to be so much bigger than that. So when real victim come out and say something, they could use this one as an example. This is, you know, this is the type of woman. So no matter what, even though I'm saying this, because it's just pure speculation, because I just can't understand how this woman could sit on national television and in court to be lying like this, and many of her lies have been proven to be lies. Okay, so this is just pure speculation, but let's continue.
They're worse. But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that.
Oh, like I was saying, this is much bigger than that. So I was right. Okay, I was right. Much bigger, but not in the point I'm pretty sure she's gonna say. Let's see.
This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation.
Thank you. Yes. That's the thing here.
And that was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. You can't go into, the free speech does not protect you if you know, go into a crowded theater and you scream fire. We get the concept of free speech from the Greeks.
But guess what? If there is a fire, you go in the, how do you call this, in a theater and say there's a fire when there is actual fire. So You are protecting those people, their lives, to run. But if there is no fire and you're saying there is a fire, now this is where the problem is. Okay, people's gonna run and stampede and there's nothing. So we have to differentiate that. If there is a fire, call there is a fire. The same way, if there is a man or a woman who have been abused, okay, she'll come forward and call it like it is.
Understanding of what that means is not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
Okay, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that? Because what you claim to be truth have been proven to be false.
The word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And
let me move it back.
It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
The truth is the word. And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
Nah.
In the closing arguments, the Depp lawyer said...
They prove what you claim to be truth, they have proved it to be false. Okay? They bring expert. They analyze it. They dissect it. And you yourself, at the beginning of the trial, you claimed the thing was not about Johnny. His name wasn't on it. They bring the ACLU who said, yeah, they remove it. They call your lawyers, your divorce lawyers. They switch around, play with the words, remove his name. And then, okay, all this was clear. And guess what? At the end, when Vasquez was cross-examining you during the rebuff, you claim, yes, it was about Johnny. Powerful men like him, this and that. So you yourself have already been debunked your own, whatever you claim to be truth. And which you prove completely 360 near the end of the trial. Okay?
Called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
That's a movie. That's a movie.
Performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony.
Was she making a reference to Edward Scissorhands? That's a freaking movie. That's a movie. You can compare a movie to reality. Wow.
Savannah Guthrie asks Amber Heard about Johnny Depp's lawyer saying she was playing the role of a lifetime in court, and she responded with, says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers. I'm legal analyst Emily D. Baker. I thought these interviews, well, the one interview that's being parsed out into like 3 parts, was a bad idea, and here's why. She's already been sued for defamation. She's already lost for defamation. And in the first 10-minute clip that was released by the Today Show today, she has already reasserted claims of abuse, said that she stands by her accusations, and called Johnny Depp an abuser. So if we don't see Team Depp seeking an injunction to stop her from realleging these allegations, I will be shocked. And could they sue her again for republication now that she's reaching a different audience? It's possible. Stay tuned.
But anyway,
insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress. So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser. That you instigated physical violence.
You could hear from the audio.
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're living in violence and it becomes...
The guy is running away from you. He's saying, let me get away. Let me go. You won't let the guy go.
Then let's not do this anymore, because I'm really getting frustrated. And I'm really, really, really sick of this argument.
Stop. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop?
Because
May I
so,
go?
Please, it causes me so much stress when you leave, when you walk away from me with that. Is like you don't understand how much worse you're making this.
I can't believe this.
Please, you're making it worse for me.
Okay, I'm sorry for you.
Please, I'm only trying to tell you so that you know you're causing me immense stress right now when you walk away like that. There's no reason to be mad.
Well, then say goodbye. I haven't walked away. You're not saying goodbye. You won't let me fucking leave. Let me leave.
Oh my God, he literally said on things you were recording. Oh my God, let me go and all of this. And you started crying, you killing me, you killing me.
Stop rushing me! Stop pushing me in the corner and then poking me with a stick and then saying, why aren't you saying the words you want me to say? Stop poking me! Stop rushing me! Stop throwing me against the wall and going, what? You don't like that wall? You don't like the fucking wall? Stop pushing me!
Remember, I'm not pushing you. I'm not rushing you. I said, I need space.
So you let me go. We take, whether or not you want me to take a break, I'm going to take my space. You take yours. Okay?
I don't want this conversation anymore right now. I need space. And I will take my space. Whether you like it or not, I will take it. And you will take your space. But if you keep halting
I'm not doing anything
this
to you.
and continuing
I'm
with
not
the rhetoric,
continuing it. I'm begging you to stop.
I don't... Okay, stop. I'm stopping.
Whether or not you like it, I'm going to take my space. My God, what else can the guy say?
Becomes normal, as I testified to.
Oh my
You
God.
have to adapt.
You say you were responding, but there is evidence. There are tapes
Exactly.
in which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
Uh-huh.
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after being edited.
Who leaked it?
What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It's evidence of a negotiation.
So you're telling me what I heard you telling? I'm not hitting you. I don't know how I hold my hand. I wasn't just punching you. You a baby. I even remember this thing. You even said, so you're telling me what I just heard you said is not what it is?
A conversation.
Listen,
we
I
were
was not
fighting.
high.
I'm not going
You
to.
lied. You're an asshole.
You're fucking full of shit. What
Lied,
lie?
you asshole.
When? What conversation did I have with Travis? Big investigative study you've done. I'm not sitting here and
No,
fighting
I
with
was
you
in a
about
situation with
the
you.
fight that we
After
had
you
last
fucking
night.
got physically violent with me, I texted Travis. I said, come up here. Because
know.
I didn't want
Come and
anything to
see me.
happen.
I mean-
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened. You
Oh,
can
you
care
told me
less.
to do it. You
Yeah.
told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just
And
happened.
I lied.
And that you punched me in the
You're right.
fucking thing. And
You figured
in
it
the
out.
face. And you said, no, fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I
didn't
watched
punch
you lie. And then
I
I
didn't
said-
punch you,
and
by
then
the
I-
way. I'm sorry that I didn't
You,
hit
punched
you
me.
across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights been around a long time. I know. Yeah,
No,
I know.
when you fucking have a closed
You didn't
fist.
get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
deck
what
me.
the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are your toes?
What was in the audio is not what I heard? Oh my God.
Of how to talk about that with your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again.
Thank you.
I mean, this is in black and white. I understand context. But you're testifying and you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
Exactly.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying,
Exactly.
oh, tell the world, John, I, a man, the victim of domestic violence.
Good one.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips
Okay,
are
let me just
excerpt
listen
from.
because this
Could
is
your
full BS
side
now.
have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer. As I testified to, I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
He
And
says
it
he
doesn't-
never hit you.
He can't-
Never. Is
yeah.
that a lie?
Yes, it is.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence.
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names.
So what
I'm
are
here
you
to
saying now?
Just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as the person who sat there.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? And the answer I got was, because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. There's so much, I have so much regret. I freely and openly and voluntarily talked about what I did. I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong.
What the hell?
Will always continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship, because I was.
What the hell should you just
ugly
say?
And could be very beautiful. It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other. I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes.
Well, one mistake for sure. You should just take your settlement and walk away. But it seems like you wanted more and more and more, and then he was like, "I have enough. I have to confront this head on." And he did not even want to go to court. He did not even want to go to court. He wanted to settle all of this out of court. But on the audio, you keep on going until he had enough. It's like, that's it. Because of his kids, the things you were saying outside of, telling people, all this nonsense. I mean, I could understand if it was true. Yes, I will back you up if it was true. But it was proven false. And then the instigating and the audios, that's what really pisses a lot of people. Instigating. He's running away from you. You're still running after him. So, why? Okay. Why did she give the knife? Why did she give the knife to Johnny Depp when you know he is an abuser? And your head and Amber Heard's head, she knows Johnny Depp is an abuser. Why will the victim give the abuser a knife? Why?
But now you've told this jury that Mr. Depp was being violent with you throughout 2012, haven't you, Ms. Heard?
No, he took a break in the middle of 2012 when he was sober.
You told them that he was hitting you in 2012, though. Is that right?
He was hitting me in 2012. He just took a break in the middle.
He was smashing things around you, right?
He did.
And you told them that Mr. Depp was in and out of sobriety in 2012.
That is correct.
You told this jury that, quote, in 2012, I was in the beginning stages of this, just learning these patterns. I was learning that drinking kind of correlated with the violence, end quote. Is that right?
That is correct.
So it was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift.
I gave him a knife, I think for a birthday present early in our relationship. I believe it was around 2012, but I'm not certain.
We've seen a picture of that knife, but I think we should bring out the real thing. Master Deputy Halusa, Master Deputy Sheriff Halusa, may I please have you show the knife to Ms. Heard?
Yes, that's it.
That's the knife you gave to the man who was hitting you, right, Ms. Heard?
I wasn't worried he was going to stab me with it when I gave it to him, that's for certain.
But you gave it to him while he was abusing you, allegedly.
I gave it to him that year.
Master Deputy Sheriff Lusa, will you please show the knife to the jury? Thank you. This is the knife you gave to the man who would get drunk and violent with you, right?
This is the same knife that I gave him as a present in 2012, yes.
What does a knife do? Oh my God.
but a voice told the truth.
Heard's lawyers say they plan to appeal that verdict. And as for the notion from Heard that there was evidence allowed in that UK trial that could have potentially made a difference last week, Depp's attorney said here on Today that the evidence presented in the latest trial far exceeded the UK one, 2 different processes, and they believe the jury got it right.
Yeah.
We have a lot more of our conversation to share with you tomorrow morning on Today, including Heard's response to some of the other allegations made about her in court and her answer when I asked how she feels about Johnny Depp now. We've got lots more of that. Our exclusive interview with Amber Heard will also air on a special edition of Dateline. That's Friday night at 8, 7 Central. There was a lot to talk about, and we'll continue the conversation tomorrow.
So enlightening. Yeah, it really was.
Lots to unpack from that.
Yeah.
Enlightening for what? Nah, it just bring my to like, what the hell was I listening to? But let's see here. There was some stuff I would like to. This is. What's going on Twitter. Let me refresh it. Amber Heard is training. There was one thing. Some of the YouTubers who were doing extraordinarily well on what is it? On where is it? Okay, that's one. On YouTube during the trial, the 6-week trial. And there was an article about them, and I wanted to share it with you. I will put the link in the description. I don't think let me see if I could read it. Oh, I guess I could. Maybe not. No, I can't. Okay, if I want to try, I'll put the link in the description. You guys could check it. All right, but let me read what Emily D. Baker wrote on her timeline on the thread she put on Twitter. Clearly, there is a lot of interest in the creator, economic, and at the moment, the legal streamers who covered the Depp versus Heard trial. I am not surprised by the interest. Our streams topped most outlets on YouTube substantially. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I started watching one of the mainstream. I don't remember. I know it's not CNN. It's another. Could have been, what is it, MSNBC? One of those I was listening to, and then the commentator was saying completely something different from what was going in the trial. And then ever since then, I tune into Emily D. Baker because she's a professional. I'd rather hear from her. Then sometimes when there is how do you call it, an expert, they questioning the expert about certain things, and I want to hear only the expert, then that's when I will tune in straight to the Law and Crime Network. I think that's the name of it. And then other than that, I will switch back to Emily D. Baker to hear her commentating, her knowledge of stuff and things like that. All right. The coverage of this trial gave people a choice. Watch the stream with a panel of lawyers, a few lawyers, or just one. Alternatively, watch without commentary on a variety of channels. That's true. Okay, the community chooses to support creators like me with their views, engagement, and super chat. That support allows me the freedom of choice too. It is profoundly appreciated. I can cover a wide range of cases, some of which are not YouTube friendly at all. See example, my coverage of the Maxwell and Prince Andrew cases. Important cases to cover, not YouTube friendly. It's disappointing to see some use the fact that I made a living streaming to imply that it changed my opinion of this case or my coverage. It didn't. She make it sure each time, at least when I was watching her, she always take it from a perspective of a professional, the lawyer, the lawyer perspective. And sometimes when she agrees with what is it, Elaine, which is Amber Heard lawyer, she will say, oh, that's a good point. And what's the other guy, that Wathenburn, okay, when he does something, some of the people who on the super chat will be disagreeing and stuff, and she will say, no, that's his job, he's doing the right way, or this and that, but whatever. But she always take it from the perspective of a professional, of a lawyer. Okay, so that she firsthand, I watch her live stream. Okay, I approach this case merely wanting to see how the evidence play out in court, the way I cover all cases, which is true. The article, I think, is a fair and neutral look at the impact the visibility of this trial had on the income of most viewed and super chatted legal streamers. Apologies if you don't have a chance to read the article. It's behind a paywall. I said in part, quote, the internet continues to open up new ways to engage with information. Legal analysis is no longer confined to a 5-minute segment or a 30-minute show. Choice is a good thing. I agree with her, because when you see different people covering certain things you are interested in, it makes it more appealing. Because when you don't have other choices, you focus, you know, you only stuck with one channel, it's very hard to hear the truth. Because when you listen to different YouTubers, professional YouTubers, who's talking, not those who's giving highlights here and there, making fun of this and that. No, when you hear from the lawyer's perspective, you get a better sense and understanding of what's going on. And then, like I said, when I don't want to hear the lawyers anymore, I want to hear directly from the expert, I go straight to the channel that's highlighting the case. Okay, there's me here. Okay, all of you guys are awesome. People have enough with the mainstream media. At the beginning, at the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, I was watching mainstream media of the trial. Literally, the commentator was saying something completely opposite of what I was seeing. I was like, what the F? I switched to Emily D every morning for it. Later, check the others, meaning the other channels. Alright, I'm so glad Johnny Depp requests it was televised. Even after the trial, these people have no shame to go on live TV spewing BS. Misinfo can literally cause harm. I don't understand why these people prefer money than truth. Keep doing what you all are doing. Info is power. Okay, they coming after you guys because you covered the trial better than MSM did. So now they want to reveal how much you made from covering the trial, so they can make it look like it was all for profit. It doesn't matter, because it takes a lot of time to sit there and do these things, and to edit it and do all of that. They could come after them, so you just have to own it. You just have to own it, because there are other YouTubers who's doing stupidity, okay, for your children to watch. You don't see them going after it. So they're probably gonna be fighting with the wrong group set of people, because if we want to hear the truth, we back those YouTubers who's actually telling the things like how it is. You know, we need to come together and say it. They're gonna claim that is after money. So what? They have to pay bill. They have to pay bill. Own it. So what? Okay, they're trying to weaponize it like you after money. So what? Okay, your time is money. Sitting there, analyze it, give your viewers. Not everybody who's into all of this, but at least the few minutes they're listening, at least they're listening to the truth. Okay, even though they're profiting off of it too, some even behind paywalls. Yep. Okay, I don't feel like this article was unfair. I understand the curiosity. I felt it when learned how much Ryan Toy Review or Mr. Beast made. I hope the conversation inspire rather than shame anyone looking for an alternative path. There are so many ways to make a living. That is true. That is true. So even if they come after people who's making YouTube videos, they claiming is for money and all of that, own it, because your time is money. Those few minutes, sometimes those 3 minutes videos take a long time to make. So what? People are willing to watch it. Hey, so what? As long it is the truth, it's not things to hurt others. All right. So let's see here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 other videos that not videos, tweets that I bookmark to share on this. That was supposed to be on the first review, but I didn't do it because I didn't edit it yet. Okay, Kate Mass, a Rando. That was from the clip from yesterday that I did. I think Amber Heard called those people were Rando. So Twitter run with it. It said Kate Mass is a Rando. Amber, you are delusional, girl. So they start putting video. I think there's a music. Yeah, there's a music. Alright, so Kate Ma, she threw her name out of the blue during cross-examination. You know, that she thought that Johnny Depp was gonna throw her off the stairs just like Kate Mass. Alright, so they bring Kate Mass. Did Johnny Depp throw you off the stairs? She's like, no, he never hurt me, and explained the incident that happened. It was, I think, somewhere in the Caribbean. I think it's Jamaica. Could be wrong. One of those Caribbean places. It was raining, and then she stepped out and slipped and fell. Okay? That was a small little thing Johnny Depp explained to her, and then she took it off with completely something different.
If anything happened when you were in Jamaica with Mr. Depp?
We were leaving the room, and Johnny left the room before I did, and there had been a rainstorm, and as I left the room, I slid down the stairs, and I hurt my back.
How did you...
And
I apologize, Ms. Moss. Please continue.
And I screamed because I was because I didn't know what had happened to me, and I was in pain, and he came running back to help me and carried me to my room and got me medical attention.
Did Mr. Depp push you in any way down the stairs?
No.
During the course of your relationship, did he ever push you down any stairs?
No, he never pushed me, kicked me, or threw me down any stairs.
Ms. Moss, have you ever before today testified in any kind of court proceeding?
No, I have never.
My goodness, now you took one with it. You're telling Kate Moss is this? Kate Moss is still modeling at age 48. See you in 12 years, Amber. We'll check back. You know, AH is going to age like milk. Oh my God. Twitter don't play. You see Kate Moss, and the first word that comes to mind is queen. And on the other hand, you have Amber Heard, who after everything that happened, now only makes you think of horse shit on bed. She's bringing all of this BS onto her. My goodness, Amber Heard will never achieve the amount of classiness Kate has. Okay, I burst out laughing when Kate showed up on the screen in court. It must have really been a slap on Amber's face that Kate not only testified to defend Johnny, but looked absolutely magnificent at 48 without a fraction of the cosmetic surgery Amber has had. Okay, it's quite interesting that Amber Heard never thought Kate Moss was a Rando when she spoke her name during testimony, but now that blew up in her face, Kate is a Rando. Kate Moss has been famous for 30 years and made her own name. Amber has made famous for 5, and only because of Johnny Depp. Okay, Amber is the only Rando here. No one knew about her before Johnny. What is it? Even the cops who came in the apartment, they didn't even know who she was. All right, there's more comment, but let's go. There's another tweet that I saved to share. There's more about Kate Moss. Amber Heard referring to Kate Moss as a Rando is perhaps one of the greatest show of her delusion. Kate Moss, there she is here. Okay, from the very beginning, Kate was iconic. She never had to become a model. She has the same energy, the same seduction, and the same wit in front of the camera. And with everyone, I love you, Kate. Donatella Versace. She has worked with every designer of note, including McQueen, Galliano, Marc Jacobs, Stella McCartney, Dior, Calvin Klein, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and her editorial still set the benchmark high in terms of sheer versatility, originality, and its ability to communicate the aspiration and realities of many generations. Her work with Corinne Day at the age of 15 remained instrumental in shaping the face of the fashion industry, and Kate is synonymous with the spirit of British innovation. Kate's ever diversifying achievements in the fashion industry have seen her launch her own collection for Topshop, Longchamp, Fred, and Ramo. I'm telling you, it bringing her for mentioning her, Kate Moss, into the court. Twitter just blew up. Okay, as the world's most prolific Vogue cover girl, Kate has appeared on 34 covers for British Vogue alone. It was a natural move for her to be appointed contributing fashion editor for the magazine. All right, so I'll tell you, Twitter, you cannot mess with Twitter. They bring this here. Yeah. Kate Moss. Kate net worth $70 million. Okay, January 16, 1974. Female, okay, model, actor, United Kingdom. What is Kate Moss' net worth? 70 million. Now they go to Amber Heard net worth minus 6 million. Oh my God, 1986, 36 years old. Wow, actor, model. I never heard of her until this whole thing come up. Okay, she's beautiful inside and out. I hope they get back together. Truly, LOL. You nearly got me. Great joke. Right, there's more things about her. Okay, wish she could model one of these prestigious designer brand. Her level of sophistication is only for L'Oreal. I will never buy anything from L'Oreal because of Amber Heard, even if they had a discount bin at Walmart. Maybe Rando means really amazing, natural, dazzling, original. Alright, so let me do another tweet that I bookmark. I don't even know if I'm gonna do the other review, edit the other review. Alright, let's see this one here. Amber Heard, I heard that Johnny Depp pushed Kate Moss down the stairs. Kate Moss, that never happened. Amber Heard, what's all these randos? Why she's testifying? Okay, quote, I didn't sell that video to TMZ. Amber Heard, yes she did. TMZ guy. Amber Heard, okay, he pretty much whatever went on the in court. He destroyed that trailer park. That's Amber Heard who said that. No, he didn't. Trailer park dude. That's a Hicksville thing. Alright, I can't help but wonder if the role were reversed and Johnny Depp had thrown battle at Amber, sliced her fingers off, admitted on tape to hitting her, bruised her face on their honeymoon, kick her door into her head, etc. If he will be asked by morning shows to do interviews. Okay, I hope Amber Heard is not including Kate Moss. Okay, she said everyone who testified was on his payroll or friend. I didn't know that Johnny Depp was paying Kate Moss, the TMZ guy, her old assistant, campsite guy, Mr. Hollywood, and Ben King. Also, everyone who testified for her was paid, family or former friend. Let's see here. This will end so much sooner if she just takes some accountability and of stuff about it. Seems like every time things look like they might be died down, she releases another statement or does an interview. Okay, is this what moving on with your life look like, Amber Heard? Okay, leave Kate Moss alone, leave Johnny Depp alone, leave the jury alone, just move on with your life. You told the jury that that's what you wanted. Yeah, that is exactly that. Okay, yeah, and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left England for more privacy. Don't come with that privacy here. They never said they want privacy. They want people to intrude to their private life, but they want to talk about their work. Alright, let's see, there's 3 comments here. People is laughing. What is that? Okay, don't even try to bring that into this community. LOL. Goodbye, lady. You on the wrong part of Twitter. That's actually true. You on the wrong part. Actually, spot on. Both play no both. Nah. Completely different. Completely different. It's not the same thing. Alright, it's not the same thing. Alright, let me not go into that because this video is about Johnny Depp. My goodness, they try to bring their nonsense and everything. Okay, you must be lost. LOL. This is Johnny Depp Twitter. Those people, they don't play. You in the wrong community. You in the wrong community. Okay, because the behavior and mental delusional is the same. You're such a rude person. I doubt Johnny will approve. LOL. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh my God, these people are freaking crazy. Alright, let me go on the last tweet that I share. I'm telling you, on Twitter, you better know which community you're on. Alright, there's this here. Not Amber, quote, everyone is lying except me, end quote. Heard amplified that Kate Moss is a Rando, laughing my ass off. 25 seconds.
I'll put it this way. How could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of non-stop, relentless testimony from paid employees, and towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say.
Randos. She was one of the randos because she decided to come back on the stand, and you know very well that you know very well Camille Vasquez was gonna cross-examining you. So you wanted the last word, and they got you on your last word too. Yes, Mr. Pay people like the LAPD. Okay, that's entirely too rich from someone who could only get her sister to testify for her in person because all her freeloading friends abandoned her when she didn't have access to Johnny's money anymore, to be honest. And that's pretty much it. My goodness, Johnny Depp let all of those people stay in those houses for free. For free. This person is right. Okay, Amber Heard be like, I can't believe Johnny Depp had the audacity to have witnesses. Oh my god. She has zero self-awareness. She think that going on TV to talk shit about anyone will help with her image on social media. Now I don't know what she's thinking. Okay, now we understand why Johnny Depp wanted the trial to be televised. I see how MSM were telling me what I was hearing in the courtroom was completely not what I was listening. Okay, I want to say something, but I will get back. Okay, actually, Rando. This guy was crazy. Oh my god, I can't believe that.
Do I have to answer that question, Your Honor?
You have to answer questions, yes, sir.
I can't believe this. Look at Johnny Depp. He was like a bad cartoon villain laughing my ass off. You know what he reminds me of? From Back to the Future. Back to the Future, whatever, that scientist guy. Okay, you brought Kate Mass into it. Can't see her role at all. No insight at all. One change of can't see. Alright, so that's it. There's more. Alright, so that's it. And there's all this. Just a Rando truth teller. Yep, these are all the testimony. This guy, I forgot his name. I think he's one of those neighbors. Was really, I think his testimony was very powerful. You know, he cried that, you know, she came in and messed up everything. Okay, this is the Hicksville guy. I forgot his name. He was the former owner of the Hicksville trailer. And he was there that day or that night that Johnny Depp came, and someone who was listening to the trial, how do you say that, heard the name Hicksville around the time that he was the owner of it, and then they contacted him, and then from there, you know, they got in touch with Johnny Depp's lawyer, and that's that. And he was like, they only charged them $62. It was just a skunk that fell off the wall, and that was it. They only charged them $62. But Amber Heard claimed the whole thing was trashed. Okay, that's the TMZ here again. Again, it's because of social media. Certain things were said on the trial that was completely false, and you know, was it TMZ was trying to block him from testifying, but the judge was like, "You're not a party in this, and he's not working for you, and you can't claim whatever." What do they call this? There's a term for it when there is journalistic privileges or privacy. You can't, you know, tell your source or whatever, but the guy was willing to come and testify, so the court, the judge let him testify.
I'm concerned with, as far as Supreme Court Rule 314, which I would like you to talk a little bit about that as far as intervention. And I got to tell you where I'm at right now. The concern, the issue I have with the argument is intervention obviously would make you a plaintiff or defendant in the case, and it has to deal with an issue that's germane to this case, and this is a defamation case. So if you could just tailor your argument to that issue, sir.
Sure. I'm happy to address the intervention. For the record, Your Honor, Charles Tobin from the law firm of Ballard Spahr,
yes,
here
sir,
representing TMZ, which is the publisher of news and entertainment for the celebrity and entertainment industry. And Your Honor, we're seeking to intervene simply to protect the relationship between reporters and their sources when it comes to reporting news in the public interest. As the court noted, we really don't have a dog in this hunt as far as Mr. Depp Ms. Hurd, we're really here purely on the First Amendment-based issue of reporters' privilege and reporters and their sources. Your Honor, the intervention rule, as the Court is aware, allows intervention by anybody where the issue is germane to the subject matter of the proceeding. And certainly, Your Honor, the purported testimony, the proffered testimony of a former employee of TMZ who purports to be in a position to disclose confidential information learned during the operation of journalism, during his work as a journalist, is a germane issue that is being raised in this case. And, Your Honor, we would point the Court to the Tafts, Fletcher, Malden, and Reed versus Southern Bank and Trust case, 213 Virginia Circuit, Lexus, 253. It's a Norfolk Circuit Court decision from 2013. And there it was an interpleader action. The funds had been interpleaded into the court by two trust companies that were fighting over it. And the man who had sold his property, who had no interest in the funds themselves, intervened in the case because he was uncertain as to his liability for excess funds, which was an issue that was not directly in litigation between the two parties. It was not part of the cause of action between the two trusts fighting over the money that had been pleaded into the court. The circuit court held that certainly the rights of that man was going to be affected by the decision making in the case. He would be prejudiced if he didn't have an opportunity to intervene, and no party was in the position to assert his rights. And so similarly here, Your Honor, TMZ is a news organization. It routinely accepts information, as is common in journalism, under exchanges of promises of confidentiality. If it is not able to intervene in this action, and neither of the parties is going to be in a position to assert the reporter's privilege, it is TMZ's journalist privilege that we're talking about, then the rights are certainly going to be prejudiced.
But if the witness, in all the cases, and I reviewed the cases that you had, in those cases the witness was compelled to testify and came and was forced to testify, so there was an issue about the privilege of the witness. It's my understanding in this case this witness wants to testify and is not under subpoena.
He has been subpoenaed, Your Honor.
That's incorrect, Your Honor. He's voluntarily. A subpoena from this court would not be enforceable.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have a copy of a subpoena that was entered last night compelling Mr. Tremaine to give testimony in this case. And so he is coming under a compulsion under subpoena.
Well, and if he takes a stand and he asserts some sort of privilege, then that's something I will deal with at that time.
Sure, but I'm here because of the scenario where he may not assert that privilege.
Right, exactly. And that's why I'm saying all your cases that you showed were the opposite, where they did assert the privilege.
Well, it is a unique situation.
Right, and I understand you might have some issues with a former employee, and you have some avenues to go deal with that.
But once he testifies and the privilege is waived, we have lost our opportunity to intervene and to intercede.
Right.
And, Your Honor, the privilege, I know, Your Honor, you said you read the case law.
I did.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
But the privilege has been recognized by the Virginia Supreme Court in the Brown case and applied by the circuit courts uniformly. It is a very important underpinning of the relationship between reporters and sources and reporters and the public. Without the ability to enforce its promises by current employees or former employees, a news organization will have absolutely no control over being able to enforce its promises. And so we would ask the court to permit us to intervene and to assert the privilege that belongs to TMZ, which is the organization, after all, Your Honor, that would be responsible to the source if the privilege were waived.
All right, I understand, Mr. Tobin, your argument. I appreciate it very much. Okay, did the parties wish to be heard?
Good morning, good afternoon, Your Honor. I'd like to begin where Your Honor began. As a threshold matter, the court should deny TMZ's motion to intervene. Intervention is not appropriate for the reasons suggested in Your Honor's questions. As Your Honor is well aware, intervention is only appropriate with leave of court where a third party seeks to, quote, file a pleading to intervene as a plaintiff or as a defendant to assert any claim or defense germane to the subject matter of the proceeding, unquote. Virginia Supreme Court Rule 3:14. As Mr. Tobin, to his credit, has conceded, TMZ is not asking to file a pleading. It cannot properly categorize itself either as plaintiff nor defendant, and it seeks to assert no claim or defense germane to the subject matter of this action. Moreover, even if the privilege were applicable, which is not the case here, the testimony intended is directly relevant and would outweigh any qualified privilege. Quote, an intervener must be asserting an interest that is part of the subject matter of the litigation, unquote, Hudson versus Jarrett, 269 Virginia 24 at 32. Here, as Mr. Tobin stated, TMZ seeks to protect potential information solicited from a third-party witness, which is in no way a matter before this court, citing Commonwealth versus Gill, 89 Virginia Circuit 323, a 2014 case denying a motion to intervene where the intervener filed it, quote, to protect a property right, not a matter before the court, unquote. The outcome of this trial will not affect TMZ, and it does not have a sufficient interest in the subject matter of this suit to intervene. See Texas Fletcher, Maiden and Reed, PC versus Bank National Trust Co., 2013 Westlaw 5849140, granting, and this is distinguishing it, granting the motion to intervene where the intervener's liability would be affected by the outcome of the litigation. Finally, Your Honor, TMZ lacks standing to object to testimony by a third party in this action because TMZ, as Your Honor pointed out, is not being compelled to testify. TMZ's reliance on the Philip Morris case for the proposition that the privilege cannot be circumvented by seeking confidential source information from an employee is inapposite. 36 VA Circuit at 1. For one thing, as noted in that case, there is no testimonial privilege akin to that enjoyed under the Fifth Amendment, which would allow a reporter to refuse to appear before a grand jury and answer questions. And Philip Morris, as Your Honor is aware, the party issued a third-party subpoena for records to trace confidential sources. Philip Morris is inapposite here, as that case related, as this case is related to witness testimony, not records. As Your Honor suggested, TMZ's quarrel, if any, is with Mr. Tremaine to the extent that he had an NDA that was enforceable, applicable, and that's not what we're hearing from Mr. Tobin. So to the extent that TMZ, which is not exactly Edward R. Murrow, Your Honor, to the extent they have a beef, as it were, a cognizable beef, it is with Mr. Tremaine. It is not with Mr. Depp, and they clearly do not have standing to assert or to intervene because they are not intervening as a party, plaintiff, or defendant. So we respectfully submit, to the extent the court disagrees, I can go into the arguments why the privilege is inapplicable, but I will reserve that.
Thank you. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I would like to weigh in from just a different perspective, and that is because we're trying to deal with some important issues of privilege, et cetera. But from our perspective, representing Ms. Hurd, we have issues with this witness separately, and I want to make them very clear for the record. This is somebody who should have been identified in discovery, was never. Second of all, it's not relevant whether, apparently what they're saying he's going to testify, and we have not had the opportunity to discover that, is he's going to claim that someone leaked to TMZ that Ms. Hurd was going to obtain the TRO on that Friday and also leak the video, the kitchen video with Mr. Depp being rather violent. I'm almost certain he's not going to claim it's Ms. Hurd, so I think it's never going to come in.
Let's hear him
Ms.
say
Verhoeven,
it.
I understand all that argument. Do you have any argument as to this particular motion?
No, my
okay, well, then
point,
we can address you.
My point is, though, if you balance the prejudice versus the probative value, I don't even see how he can come in on foundation or hearsay or relevance.
That's just not part of this motion at this time. Thank you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Tobin, your motion, you get the last word, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. You know, I appreciate that the court shook your head when he made the snarky comment that this is not Edward R. Murrow. Obviously, the First Amendment applies to everybody, citizens, the New York Times, or TMZ, and this is a First Amendment-based privilege. Your Honor, the Philip Morris case is actually a very good case to answer Your Honor's question about the intervention of somebody else in order to assert the privilege. There, ABC was a defendant in the case, and it moved in order to prevent other people, the phone company.
But they were already in the case in that particular
I understand.
matter.
There is no other mechanism, though, and so it would be an interesting procedural issue for appeal, Your Honor, whether a journalism organization or anybody else who's a First Amendment holder would be denied intervention on a constitutional-based privilege. I also, just for the record and for the merits of the case, if I understood Mr. Chu correctly, he said this is not an issue in the litigation. This does not relate to an issue in the litigation. Well, if it's not an issue in the litigation, if it's not part of a prima facie part of the defense, part of the allegations of the complaint, if it's impeachment evidence, if it's collateral to the main issues in the case, under the Brown v. Commonwealth decision under the Virginia Supreme Court, under the application of that privilege in the Philip Morris versus ABC News, it is not supposed to be compelled in this case.
Which is, again, it's not being compelled, it appears.
Well, he is appearing by subpoena, and it is a compulsory process, and he will have an obligation unless he asserts privilege under oath. But it is our privilege, Your Honor. It's not an employee, a loyal or a rogue employee's privilege to waive on behalf of its employer. This is an unusual situation.
Tell me about it.
But the answers are there in the law, and it is a First Amendment concern.
This is not the first unusual situation in this case. I can
for
tell you
of
for
us,
Mr. Tobin.
For anybody here, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you coming in today, and I appreciate your arguments. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. In this matter, under Virginia Rules Supreme Court 3:14, a new party may intervene as a plaintiff or defendant to assert any claim or defense germane to the subject matter of the proceeding. A new party may not intervene unless they assert some right involved in the underlying litigation. A party is not entitled to intervene merely because a byproduct of the litigation adversely impacts them, and the decision to allow intervention is within the broad discretion of the trial court. Here, the rights asserted are not germane to the trial. The central issues in this case are whether defendant defamed plaintiff and whether plaintiff defamed defendant through a theory of vicarious liability. The issue of the confidentiality of sources has not come up as in other cases cited by EHM, which is the corporation that TMZ belongs to, is under their umbrella. In Brown versus the Commonwealth, there was an attempt by the criminal defendant to subpoena institutions in order to obtain the name of the confidential source. When the author of the article was subpoenaed, she refused to identify her confidential source on the stand. And in this case, it appears that the witness is willing to state the name of the confidential source without being compelled voluntarily. Whether that breaches a non-disclosure agreement between Mr. Tremaine and EHM is not germane to this matter and can be litigated in a separate matter if EHM so chooses. And while breaches of contract must be taken seriously, and the court does, any alleged breach is not germane to the underlying litigation here. That contractual action has no bearing on this case and is thus not germane to this litigation. Therefore, I'll deny the non-party EHM Productions motion to intervene.
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, I've known Mr. Tobin for several years. I meant no snarkiness toward him.
Well, you're just a snarky guy. Ashley, Mr.
Your Honor, I am concerned that we preserve the issue fully. And so,
for the record, yes,
for the
sir.
record. And so I would ask, may I have the opportunity to object when Mr. Tremaine is question by question?
No, sir, you're not a party to this case. However, I will note for your record your objection to his complete testimony on behalf of your client.
Right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
You have nothing to do with it.
Your microphone, Ms. Berger.
As with the Hicksville witness, Your Honor, I would ask that we could voir dire him before the jury to find out when he contacted counsel and when they became aware of it. And I think also, under the circumstances, in fairness, I think we should at least be able to ask him what he's going to claim.
No. Response.
Your Honor, I don't think that's appropriate. Certainly, I don't think a proffer is necessary or appropriate in this case.
I'm not going to do a proffer in this matter, okay? All right. Mr. Ruttenberg, I was almost at lunch.
I know, I'm so sorry. But I truly am the messenger here, because Mr. Murphy just informed me that he has to just clarify one thing about...
Just one clarification.
Okay, all right, okay. That's fine. I think we need Ms. Myers.
The judge is like, she wants to go and eat. The judge was like, all right. So she made the ruling. TMZ's, the video is gonna be shown. The witness is gonna come and say, where did they get the video? Okay. So so if TMZ has a problem, now TMZ have to sue the person who's being testified. So this has nothing to do with the case. That's the way I got it. Okay. Again, I am not a legal expert. Just my humble opinion. Plenty of lawyers, go check them out. They'll give you the technicality of this. All right, so that's that. Okay, because he was no longer there. And another thing too, I'm gonna, hopefully I found it. There is one of those lawyers who dissect his testimony with Vasquez. How Vasquez, certain question Vasquez asked him to prevent him from disclose his DNA. How do you call this? NDA, not DNA. NDA, you know, whatever he signed with TMZ, not to say it in public or whatever, non-disclosed thing, secrets of TMZ. I remember after I listened to his testimony, I was like, whatever he said, I could just go online and find it myself. Okay? And then when I come across that lawyer who dissect his testimony between him and Vasquez, and it made me realize he put it in the lawyer perspective term that it was one of the brilliant cross-examination between him and Vasquez, while Vasquez was protecting him. Okay, the question that Vasquez asked him, Vasquez was protecting him so he doesn't get sued with TMZ. I'm not even gonna do a review of that particular lawyer. All I'll do is put the link of that video. Go watch it yourself. And when I came across it, I was like, oh my God. After I listened to him during the cross-examination, I think that's what they call, when Vasquez was asking him question, I was like, you know, the first thing that popped up in my mind, I was like, all of these things he's saying, I could easily go on online on TMZ website and check it myself. I didn't see anything that was you know, that could put him in jeopardy. And then when I heard that lawyer dissecting the thing, and it made me realize this is what Vasquez was doing. Okay, this is the beauty of those professionals on YouTube. Okay, I'll put the link, I'll look for it and put the link in the description for you guys to check it out. So that was good. And that lawyer said it was the brilliance of a good lawyer, how great Vasquez was. And that many of us, for me, it was when Vasquez was asking Amber Heard question both time, okay, both time, because she destroyed Amber Heard. But that lawyer said this one was the brilliant one, because even though they need the information from him to secure Johnny Depp, I guess, you know, to put a check mark on Johnny Depp column, a W for Johnny Depp column. And then the lawyer explained it and dissected and said, look, this was the best cross-examination he has ever seen, because Vasquez asked certain question and left enough information for the jurors to fill in the blank. Okay? Without him saying it himself on the stand and incriminate him to be sued by TMZ. That's how great that was. Okay, like I said, I'll put the link of that video in the description for you. I'm not even gonna do a review. It is worth for you to watch it and make him get that view. And that was brilliant. Alright, so there's Kate Moss again. So that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link in the description. I will not, on my other channel is for my members. This is a backup channel for my other channel. So if you want to support this channel, just the PayPal link in the description, or just watch the commercials. That's it. Thank you for watching.